Okay, guys. So first things first, we have to talk about what our learning target is today, okay? So our learning target today, can everyone see this? It says, I can recall details from a story. What do you think that means? What does recall mean? I can recall details. What that means? Justin, what does recall mean? If I read you a story and then I ask you questions about the details of the story, what do you have to do? You have to restate. You do. You also have to use your brain to remember. So recall means remember. So this is saying I can remember details from the story. Okay? The other thing we're working on is I can retell a story. So we're going to read a story today, and then I'm going to ask you questions, our WH questions, which Justin's going to teach us all about here in a second, and then we're going to retell it. Okay? Sound good? Okay. So, okay. Justin, come on over here, buddy. I'm going to slide this over. So, Micaiah, these are all of our WH questions. Justin and I have been working on this, and it's something you're going to start working on too. I don't know where my pointers are, actually. So, oh, there it is. Okay, which one do you want to use today? Next time. Okay. You want to use this one? Snowball? All right. So Justin's going to point to each one for us today. Ready? Okay, what's our first WH question? Who. Okay, so when I ask a who question, what do I want to know?
Person.
So when I ask a who question, like, who is wearing a coat right now? Justin, I'm telling you about a person, right? Okay, so when I ask a who question, I want to know the person. What's our second WH question, Justin? What? So when I ask a what question, this is the hardest one to remember. What do I want to know when I ask a what question?
Action.
Action or
Information.
So I might ask, what is Mrs. B doing right now? Sitting. That's an action, right? What is Mrs. B doing right now? Running. That's an action. Okay, so you're giving me an action. All right. What's our next question, Justin?
When.
What do I want to know for a when question?
Time or day.
Time or day. So you can tell me. I said, when do you eat breakfast? Kaya? When do you eat breakfast? Morning or at night? Morning. So you're telling me a time. Okay? Sometimes when I ask a when question, I want to know about the day. Okay? So those are things that we listen for in our story. Our next WH question, Justin. Where? Okay, what do I want to know when I'm asking a where question?
Place.
The place. Okay, last one, Justin. You remember this one? Why?
Why and how.
Why and how? When I ask a why question, I want to know the reason. I want to know the because. So if I see someone crying, I might ask, why are they crying, right? And then they'll tell me, because I lost trouble, or because I fell down, or because I hurt myself. They're telling me the reason that happened, okay? Make sense?
Yep.
Thank you, Justin, for teaching that today. So, that's okay. It felt. Okay. All right, take a seat, buddy. So now that we know our WH questions, we are going to read a story, okay? And we have some new things that we're going to learn. We're going to learn about all the parts of the story. See how I have stuff written up here? See this? So these are all the parts of our story. So I'm going to explain this really quick before I start reading, okay? So, in the beginning of our story, that's when we usually hear about our characters. And look, Justin, do these colors match?
They are. Yeah.
Yeah, because if I ask a who question about a story, I want run into a problem, right? And then, do they usually try to fix that problem?
Yeah.
Right, so then they do another action to fix the problem. And then all the way down here at the end, we have our landing. That's the end of the story. That's how did they fix the problem? What happened at the end? Make sense? Okay, so we've got our beginning, our middle, and our end. We're going to talk about that today when we retell a story. Okay? The other thing I want to point out to you, I'm going to pull this back over. I might ask you about, and I might ask you about the characters. So I might ask who's in our story. I might ask you about what they did in the story. So that's what I want you to be thinking about. What are they doing? I might ask you when they did this. So if I ask a when question, what should you be listening for?
Miss Benoit, tomorrow's test is 70 minutes, so they get 100. So they get
What?
If I ask a when question, what do I want to know? A time and a day. Nice job. So you're listening for a day or a time, okay? If I ask a where question, what do I want to know? Where I'm at. So you want to be listening for who's in the story, when are they doing all these things, where is this all happening, and if there's a problem, and how do they solve it. Okay? All right. Let's read our story. I'm going to move this back so you guys can look at the board up here. Okay? All right. Here we go. You guys get a color copy and I have black and white. Lucky you guys. All right, you ready? Our story, you can track along with me, okay? Our story is called Basketball in the Park, okay? All right. Joe woke up on Sunday morning. He stretched his arms and started to think about what he wanted to do today. Joe decided he wanted to play basketball in the park with his friend Mark. Joe and Mark went to the park to play basketball. But when they got there, Joe realized he forgot to bring his basketball. Joe walked home and got his basketball, and then the two boys played basketball all day long. At night, Joe could not wait to go to bed. Okay. Think we remember everything? Yes? Okay. Okay, any question? That's okay. So we're going to go through all the parts of our story, okay? Okay. So, Justin, I'm going to ask you a question first. Who was in our story?
Joe and Mark.
Nice job, Joe and Mark. Is he forgetting anybody, Micaiah? No, he is not. So what do we call those people in our story? Those are our characters. So who's our characters? Joe and Mark. Nice job, both of you. All right, Micaiah. Now we're going to be thinking about our roller coaster, okay? How did our story take off? How did it start? What's the first thing you heard Joe doing? Micaiah. Nice job. So our takeoff is Joe woke up on Sunday morning and his work. Okay? Then, Justin, what did Joe want to do? What was he planning to do? After he woke up, he wanted to go.
Basketball.
He wanted to play basketball. Nice job. So he went to go play basketball by himself?
No.
With who?
Mark.
With his friend Mark. Nice job. Okay, then what's our problem? What happened? He forgot to bring his basketball. Why is that a problem? play if they don't have basketball? Probably not. Instead of going, so what did Joe do after he realized he forgot his basketball? What did he do? Justin.
Go back home.
He went back home and
Get basketball.
he got his basketball. Is there anything else he could have done instead of going back home?
Share his he wants to make share his basketball.
He could share, so maybe if other people were playing basketball, maybe he could what?
Call him mom.
Okay, so he could call his mom, she could come drop it off. If other people were playing basketball, maybe he could do what Micaiah was saying and he could ask them if they could share. So there were other options, but he decided to go home and get his basketball, right? So what happened after that? What's our end of our story? How does our story end? Justin.
At night, Joe was waiting to go to bed.
So okay, at night he couldn't wait to go to bed. What about before that? After he went home and got his basketball and then he came back, what did Joe and Mark do?
They play basketball all day long.
They played basketball all day long. Guys, you did an awesome job listening to the story. Nice work. This is longer than our normal stories. Good job. Okay, so they played basketball all day long. All right, now Justin just read that last sentence. At night, Joe couldn't wait to go to bed. Was Joe tired?
Yeah.
Why? How do we know that? Does it say in our story that he's tired?
No.
No, it never said Joe was tired. So how do you know, Justin?
Because all day long he played basketball.
Because he was playing basketball all day long, and that usually makes you really, really tired, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you knew, or do you have something else you want to add?
I knew that because he played basketball all day long and he was tired and then he go sleep.
So we know just by our own knowledge that we have in our heads that if we play basketball all day long, or if we do anything all day long, right, that has us running around, that we're going to be tired, right? And then it said Joe couldn't wait to go to bed. So to me, that tells me, oh yeah, Joe's pretty tired, right? Because he's looking forward to going to bed. Okay, so we're going to use our story maps. Micaiah, you haven't seen this before, but Justin, you have. Remember when we did this with Brian? Okay, so we're going to use our story maps where everything I just asked you, you're going to write it on here. Okay? Or you can draw a picture if you're having a hard time spelling something. Or you can ask me to help you spell it, okay? So I already filled one out. I want you guys to try to fill one out, okay?
Like yesterday.
Hold on, Justin, okay, stop it.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
I had that list, but I didn't write it. I just highlighted. And I wrote like the dates and the days that.
You'll get right next time. Okay, guys, so first thing, what's our first box up here, Justin? Characters. So you know our characters. You can use, I love how Justin has his thing out and he's looking for how to spell the names. Good job, Micaiah, you're doing the same thing. So you can use that story to help you spell words that you don't know.
Quick.
Joe and Mark, nice job. So were our characters two girls?
No.
No, they were two boys, right? So I wrote Joe and Mark just like you did, and then I even drew two pictures of boys just so I remember that they're boys.
Get two boys.
You can if you want. That's up to you. This is for you to help you guys remember so you can tell the story. And then next time, I'm going to bring these out, and you're going to tell me the story again without looking at this and see what we remember.
Stop right there, guys. Stop right there.
Okay. Now that we got our characters in there,
Princess last
we need to be thinking about
Yeah.
what's that next block. See if you can read that. It's really small. Good guess, Justin. Setting. What's the setting? So look, see how that's hold on before you write. See how that's yellow, Justin, and green? So that means it wants to know when and where. That's the setting of our story, okay? So let's answer the first question. When did this all happen? What day? Micaiah. Sunday morning. So let's write Sunday on there. And it's right here in your story to help you spell it. Sunday. That's okay. If you make a mistake, you just erase and write again. Try to write small so you can fit in your little block. Nice job. Okay, now we know more about when. We know that it happened on Sunday, but we also know it happened Sunday morning. Good job. Sunday morning. So that tells us the day and the time. So morning is right here. Oh, so Justin's telling his son to help him remember that it happened in the morning. That's fine, Justin. Okay, now we need to think about the second part of our setting. What's the second thing we need to think about?
Takeoff.
Oh, hold on, we're still in here. We've got the we've got the time, we've got the when, but we also need to think about the where, the place. So where did this all happen? Yeah, which is in the park. So write down park. You got it?
Yeah.
What did you write? Oh, you drew a basketball.
Yeah.
Nice job. So you can write park or you can draw a basketball. Hold on, don't cross out before we get there, so we might actually use it today, okay? So wait 1 second, Justin, we're going to use that today. But I love that you're trying to think ahead. Oh, don't cross it out, because we're going to use this today, okay? We're going to write there. All right, next part, Justin, what's this? We're going to use all of them today. See how I have it in all of them? Okay, our takeoff. Our takeoff. What happened first? The very first thing in the story, what happened? You told me this already, Micaiah. Very first thing. So Joe woke up. So we're going to write Joe woke up. And that's right here. Joe woke up. Joe woke up. Nice job, guys. Keep going. Doing great. So just start it on the next line. Start your woke up next line. Good job, Justin. This is our takeoff. This is the very first thing in our story. It's how our story starts. All right. That's okay. Move right over it, buddy. That's all right. Okay. How did he feel? Who remembers how he felt when he woke up? Micaiah. Happy. Guys. All right. So just write. You can draw a happy smiling face over that. Right here. This is his feelings. How did he feel? He felt happy is what he told us. Okay. We have about 3 minutes left. So, we're going to see what we can finish, okay? Whatever we don't finish, we'll finish next time, okay? All right, so our next thing is, what did he plan to do? I'm not going to write anything in here, but I just want to think about it. What did he plan to do after he woke up, Justin? What was he planning on doing? He woke up, and he thought, what do I want to do today? What did you think? Justin, tell us with your words before